Hey guys, welcome to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Morgan and I'm the maker behind LA Crochet, and if you're one of my fabulous returning crochet friends, then hey, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to be doing a ton of pattern writing together. I'm going to be taking you guys along through the whole process of designing my newest pattern bundle, and we are also going to be doing a big yarn haul together, one of my largest, most recent yarn purchases lately. Before we get into it though, be sure that you like this video and subscribe if you'd like to see more fun crochet related content like this in the future. Few announcements before we get started. My newest pattern, the Little Mushroom Dress Up pattern, is officially out now on my Etsy in case you missed it. The tops are removable and interchangeable. It's just such a fun interactive pattern, perfect for markets, completely no-sew except for the few with some stems on them. And of course you can add the optional booty on the back there if you want. Also, if you missed it, my top secret pattern has officially been revealed and it is for Groggy Froggy. This one is also available on my Etsy. The bathrobe and the eye mask are removable, so it's also kind of like another dress up froggy pattern. And of course, I mean, look at those eyes. Is he sus? Does he have allergies? Is he judging every move you make? You decide. And just to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek, the pattern that we are going to be designing in today's video is the Little Pup Dress Up pattern. And when the time comes, this pattern is going to be tested exclusively by my level 2 through 4 Patreon friends. And in case you didn't know, I am on Patreon. That is where we do all of my pattern tests. We have finalized patterns, there's Zoom hangouts, plushie pageants, community events. So if you'd like to check out the Patreon and join the community, the link is in the description box below. But already, you guys, without further ado, let's get into some pattern designing. It is time to design a pattern that I have been wanting to design. It's been a long time coming now. I've wanted to design it for about a month at this point. As you probably know, I've been doing a lot of dress up patterns lately. So of course we did ladybug dress up, we did the little land turtles, we did the Brontos, the snails, the mushrooms. Now it is time for us to do a dress up version of a pattern that I've actually already designed. And I designed it a long time ago. It was actually the third pattern that I've ever designed, and that is the hot dog pup. So you guys, we are going to be designing a dress up version of the hot dog pup, but the plan is also to make it like a bundle as well. So right now I'm thinking a 3-part bundle with my new take on hot dog pup. Plus the goal is also to do a subwoofer. So like a sub will literally like go around the dog like a costume, hence the name subwoofer. And then of course the other one I had to do it was corn dog. Originally I was just thinking of doing hot dog pup and maybe some fruits. I still want to do fruits, but I might do that later as like another bundle pack. But the other day Mr. LA and I were in like a local kids toy store and I saw this stuffed animal there and I was very much inspired. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a corn dog. How funny is that? The dress up patterns in the past have been larger bundles. So like the land turtles I think had 15, the mushrooms had 16. That was my biggest one. And then I think the Brontos and the snails had like 9. But for this one, I'm thinking that we're going to do 3 because these designs will actually probably be like totally different from each other. Like I know the hot dog is going to have to be totally different than the corn dog, and that's going to have to be totally different than the subwoofer. So we're going to focus on these 3 designs first, and then like I said, down the line I would love to do some more like costume variations. A lot of you guys have been asking if we're going to be doing like holiday mods for the turtles and the mushrooms. Yes, we definitely are. I have so many of them planned in my brain, so we'll see more of those later this year. And I would also love to do more variations of this dog pattern, but first we have to design it together. So the first thing that I'm going to do is actually design the pup. I'm thinking the pup is going to be smaller in size. So if you're familiar with my original hot dog pup pattern, it's actually a 2-in-1 pattern. So there's like a larger version of the hot dog pup and then a smaller version. It's going to be more so the size of the smaller version, but it's actually going to be a standing pup this time because we're going to go with the same concept of like having straps that wrap around the legs like we've done for the other dress up patterns. And luckily I have plenty of this yarn, so we are going to start designing using Parfait Chunky yarn in the shade Teddy Bear. All right, a little update here. This is what it's currently looking like. So I have all 4 of the legs attached and the underbelly, and I'm working up the body, and I'm actually about to frog this entire thing. So this is definitely like a reality of pattern writing. It's a lot of frogging and it's a lot of like experimenting. So right now, what I want to try to fix is how far the underbelly kind of like comes down. It's like a little bit of a divot like that. So I want to fix that, and I have an idea for how I'm going to do that. But right now, because of that, like that is the shape that I really want. And right now the body is a little bit too long because of that little divot. So I am frogging the entire thing right now. But it's good because by doing this, I've already kind of created a little bit of a framework for myself here. So as I pattern write, I am always typing exactly what I am doing down. That way, once I'm done with the pattern, I already have everything like fully written down. Because if I don't do that, I will entirely forget what I did and it'll just be a mess. But I'm going to change a few things. I think I'm going to eliminate some rounds and I'm going to adjust what I've already done here, and hopefully I can like bring that under part up a little bit, and then we can kind of like round out the actual body a little bit more. Sometimes frogging makes me really sad, but actually right now I'm kind of okay with it for some reason. I think it's because I have a full game plan. Sometimes when I have to frog and I don't really know what I need to do to fix it, that can be really stressful. The only thing now is hopefully my plan will actually fix the problem, because if it doesn't fix the problem, then I'm gonna have to come up with something else. There goes the first leg and the second leg. All right, let's try this over again and see how it looks. Okay, update. I redid pretty much the entire pattern and I am loving what it is looking like. So this is the full 360 on it. I basically reworked the math on all of the rounds. I even changed the legs as well, which I wasn't exactly expecting. I have the old legs right here. I decided to just start from scratch and make the new ones. But now, thankfully, the way that I've done it, the belly is like very flat up into the legs, which is what I was going for. And I made the legs just a little bit smaller so that you would get more of that like stubby dachshund look to them, which I think I much prefer. Normally, I try to keep everything as low sew as possible, so I am doing something where like I can crochet the tail directly into the body. I do think that I'm going to need to sew the head onto the body, which the way that I'm planning on doing the covers, they should be no sew. So if that is the only sewing in this pattern for the amount of detail that I'm hoping to include in it, then that should be pretty good. So I'm going to get to work on designing the head and also the tail, and then I will check back in with you guys once we have our little dachshund. You guys, how cute is he? I wanted him to be short and stout, and here he is, short and stout. So adorable. Let me give you guys the full 360. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Right now, the head might look a little bit large for the body, but that is actually intentional, because something that I learned, especially from designing all of these dress up patterns, is that once you actually put the outfit on the animal, it makes all of the other features on the body look smaller, because then the body looks bigger because it's wearing an outfit, if that makes sense. So I know once I put the outfits on this one, the body will actually look larger because there will be more to it, so the head will look even slightly more proportional. I don't mind if the head is a little bit larger. I do, however, mind if the head is too small. When I was designing the land turtle dress up pattern, I accidentally made the head too small at first. Like, it was good for the actual size of the body, but once you put the shell on, the head was too small. But I think things often look cuter when they have larger heads. So yes, this is what he looks like. I love it so much. So this body does require some sewing, though I did figure out how to get the tail to be no sew, which was cool. But the only sewing required for the body is just to sew the ears to the head and then the head to the body. And my plan for all of the outfits is for all of them to be completely no sew as well. So hopefully I can make that work. But we are off to a very good start. I love how stumpy he is. So cute. It definitely embodies a dachshund in my mind. I always just love how long their bodies are, but how teeny tiny their feet are. So I'm so excited to spend the rest of the day designing these outfits. Also, I don't know if I mentioned it when I was doing my little like intro. I also want to do pepperoni pizza. I don't know if I said that. I might have missed saying that, but the idea will be to have the cover look like a pizza, so then we can call it a pepperoni pizza. So hopefully that will work out. I have to show you guys something else that I made though. It was super fun. I made a fuzzy weighted version of my Larry the Land Turtle pattern in the rose variation. Let me give you guys the close up here. How soft and fluffy does that look, you guys? It's so much fun. Crocheting with Feels Like Bliss yarn can be a labor of love, but it is so worth it. It's just slippery, more slipperier. It's just more slippery than regular yarn, so it can be kind of hard to work with sometimes, but it does get better as time goes on. But this was my first time ever making the rose variation with this yarn. I've only ever made a fuzzy weighted sunflower Larry the Land Turtle, but let me give you guys a closer look here. So that's what the rose part looks like. I wish that you guys could feel this. It's so soft. It's so fun with all these different layers of the petal detailing. Very detailed. Of course, there's the tail on the back there. I did decide to do like the tan yarn under here to give it a little bit of a color differentiation between the legs and the shell. And of course, each foot has the little toe beans on there. And these eyes, these are 25mm sinker eyes. These eyes are of course by the one and only Christine with What's Up Cupcake. I thought that the goldish orange color really fit like the color palette of the turtle, but this was actually our June plushie giveaway. So if you didn't know, on my Patreon every month we do a plushie giveaway. Last month it was a jumbo sus chick, and we always vote on what it's going to be. So this month everybody voted for it to be a fuzzy weighted Larry the Land Turtle. So I got to reveal for them last night the variation that I decided to do, or of course the Larryation, if you will. And I put all the level 4 members' names into a spinny wheel, and we spin live during the Patreon live so we can all celebrate together in real time. It's so fun. But congratulations to Luna for winning this little guy. I'm so excited. I'm really excited for next month's too. Everybody was giving me very fun ideas for what we should do for next month's plushie giveaway, and only the OGs will know. Something that's been sitting in my whip cart for the longest time has been a pink fuzzy bear. Oh my gosh, it's been just legs for literally 10 months at this point. So that might be one of the options when we do the poll for next month. So I wouldn't be surprised if it wins just because of how long it's been sitting in the whip cart. I know that there are some people who just want to see that out of my whip cart. It's also kind of a joke at this point. So we'll see if that wins the poll or something else. There were some other really fun suggestions as well. Pretty much all of them were all fuzzy variations of like different patterns that I've done. It Feels Like Bliss yarn and like Little Bunny yarn Premiere. Everybody loves the fuzzy plushies, you guys. So I've been crocheting for most of the day today. So it is time for me to take a break. And the best way to do that is with the sponsor of today's video, Bob and Brad. And more specifically today, we are going to be chatting about their Hand Spa Pro hand massager. You guys have probably seen me use this in the past. I keep it in the box because I found that that's the best way to store it, because obviously the box is the perfect size for it. And it helps make sure that I don't lose any of like the different parts that are included with this. But for those of you who don't know, Bob and Brad was a company started by 2 physical therapists, and they primarily focus on making products to help with things like joint pain. And this, of course, is one of my favorites of theirs. So this is their hand massager. Obviously, as a crocheter, sometimes your hands need a little love, right? It might start to get a little tense there, especially after the more like intense sessions of crocheting. And I have found that this is one of my favorite products of theirs. So it's really easy to use. All you have to do is just turn it on. And then there's different setting levels as well. I tend to enjoy when it's at a lower setting. I don't really like that much of like a strong massage, if that makes sense. And something that's particularly nice during the winter months is there's also like a heat option for it as well. Of course, now it's the summer, so I don't really like to use that, but you can probably hear it right now working. It's like a very slow hum basically. And right now it really does feel like somebody is massaging my fingers, and not only my hand, but also my wrist down here as well, because they do have some compression points on the very end of the glove here too. And all the while it's kind of like rolling, so you really get that moving sensation up and down your fingers and into the palm of your hands as well. And like I said, whenever you're feeling done or you want to switch to the other hand, you just hit this button and all of the air comes out of it. And then you can very easily switch it to the other hand. I know I'm just kind of like holding it up for you guys here, but you could literally like walk around your house with it. Like it's super portable, it's super easy to use. And once you're fully done, you can just power down the device and immediately all of the air will come out of it. So if you guys would like to try out the Bob and Brad Pro hand massager for yourself, the link is in the top of the description box below. Thank you so much to Bob and Brad for sponsoring this video and for being a continued supporter of this channel. Now that our hands are feeling fully massaged, you guys, I'm gonna take another little break before I start designing all of the outfits for this pup. I cannot believe it. Okay, so literally 2 days ago, like in the afternoon, I placed an order with Premier Yarns. If you guys saw last week's video, you saw me actually placing that order. It was a pretty large order. There's like 32 skeins in this order. I've been going through a lot of Parfait Chunky lately. Well, today is 2 days later, not even a full 48 hours later, and the box is already here. I cannot believe how fast the shipping was. Shipping has never been this fast before. I don't think I've ever gotten an order within 2 days. So I was so surprised when I saw it on our doorstep today. But the big old box of yarn is here, you guys. So let's do a little yarn haul together. Now, I will say this time it might be possible there could be olive oil in here because this is a larger box and it is quite heavier. However, I haven't really been seeing that many people getting olive oil in their orders lately, so I don't know if that's something that they have stopped doing or if they're still doing it. If there is olive oil in this box, we will absolutely do a giveaway for it. I would be so excited. But let me show you guys all of the yarn that I got, and I'm also happy to say that they were not sold out of any yarn this time, so I was able to get all of the different colors that I needed. I know they also just released a bunch of new colors as well. I didn't get any of the new colors. I just kind of focused on the colors that I already have and the ones that I really needed. As we're going into July, I know that I'm going to be doing a lot of pattern writing this month, so I want to make sure that I have all of those colors that I need and I'm like set up for success. There she is, you guys. Oh my gosh. Like I said, 32 skeins in here. Definitely like a larger order for me. And if you are new here, I don't ever follow any like fancy system for keeping track of how much yarn I have or like what colors I need. I literally just have it all on this shelf, and whenever I start to see space, I order more of it. So I used quite a bit of the white and the cream colors this month because of the Little Mushroom Dress Up pattern. So I got a bunch more of that as well, but let me show you guys. This, if you've ever wondered, is the difference between the white and the cream yarn. So the white is definitely like a stark white, and the cream is kind of more like an off-white, which I definitely used this more for the Little Mushroom Dress Up pattern. I just liked kind of like the softer cream color of it. I also got another skein. This is the shade Almond Butter. This is kind of like a tan color, which is nice. This is one of their newer yarns that they haven't had for too long, but I've used this a lot, especially as we've done like the hamburger variations of our different dress up patterns. But I just wanted to get another skein of that because I knew this month I'd be making the hot dog dress up pattern, and I knew I was going to use it for like the buns of the hot dog and then also the sub as well. Had to get another skein of teddy bear because again, we're making dachshunds this month, so I needed to make sure that I was all set for that. I got 2 more skeins of Parfait Chunky in the shade Seaside. This is perhaps my favorite shade of blue. It is just so vibrant. I still have 3 more skeins of Peacock, and that is one of the shades that they've discontinued, so I need to think about what I want to make with that shade. Also got 1 shade. This is the lighter shade of blue in the shade Light Blue. Very aptly named. Oh my gosh, look at how pretty the color palette is in this box. It's like very pastel colors left in here. So this is the shade Mint, and I just want to show you guys something. I noticed this as soon as I took it out of the box. Do you guys see? I don't know if it's going to show up on camera. So this is the older Mint that I already had, and this is the newer one. Does that not look like a kind of a different shade of mint? This one looks a lot lighter than this one. I'm just going to have to make sure I take a mental note of that. I'm sure they're 2 different lot numbers. Yeah. So I just have to make sure that I don't mix these up and accidentally like combine the 2, or else I'm going to have a mint plushie where you can totally see the color change. That has definitely gotten me in the past, and I want to make sure that it doesn't get me again. Luckily though, this one seems pretty noticeable. Like I noticed it right as soon as I saw the newer skein, so hopefully I won't make that mistake. I also got 2 skeins of Key Lime. This is probably one of the green shades that I use the most. And we also got 1 skein of Emerald just to make sure I was fully restocked on that. 2 more skeins I got here. This is Parfait Chunky in the shade Cardinal. This is pretty much the only red color that I use use. It's very vibrant. That's one of the things that I love about it, is really stands out. But I used quite a bit of this for not only the mushroom tops, but also like the rose variations that I've been making lately. And I also got one skein of tangerine. This is also the only orange color that I use. Next, I got 2 more skeins of bubble gum. This is one of my favorite pink colors. I love it so much because it's basically hot pink. I used a lot of this past month because, of course, and they are staring at me right now, the Groggy Froggies. I made 2 of them with the robes in this hot pink color and also the eye masks as well. Okay, this next color, I definitely went back and forth on it, and I was out of both of them. So I got the cotton candy and the ballet pink before, and I was trying to decide which one of them I preferred. And I thought I was gonna go with ballet pink, but then at the last minute, as I was placing the order, I decided to go with cotton candy because the 2 shades are really quite similar to each other. So I figured I should probably just pick one. So I ended up getting 4 skeins of cotton candy. I decided to go with this shade because it's a lighter shade of pink, so I could use it for blush, and I thought that there would be a greater contrast between this and the bubblegum yarn, so I could kind of use them together as well. But it's just a really pretty light pink color. I was actually totally out of shell yarn as well, and that's because when I went to place the order last time, I will say though, this isn't really a shade that I order a lot of, so maybe that's why. Maybe it's just been like a long time since I ordered it, but I did get 4 skeins of this. This is the shade Shell, so it's just kind of like a lighter tan color. I also got 1 skein of Eggplant. This is like a darker purple color. Also, I learned that in England, they don't call them eggplants. I can't remember what they call them, but it's not eggplants. If anybody knows, drop it in the comments below, but I thought that was so interesting. And then finally, last but certainly not least, we have lilac. I have been desperately needing lilac for a while now. I wanted to order lilac last time, but they were completely sold out, and I only had 1 little skein of it left, not even a full skein. This was all that I had left of it, so I've been like conserving it because I wasn't quite sure if I would need it for pattern writing. So I decided to get not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 skeins of lilac because I was like, you know what, we're not running out of this anytime soon again. And you guys, I regret to inform you that we officially did not receive the olive oil yet again. I did receive it once before, and I have to imagine that they probably somehow keep track of like who has gotten it before. That's why I was saying if I do get it again, we'll do a giveaway for it, but no olive oil this time. And there she is, you guys, a fully restocked yarn shelf. I always love the way that it looks after a good yarn haul, especially these top 6 ones up here. They just look so fun. I always have to put things in like rainbow order, the Roy G. Biv. Ever since I worked retail, that's like always stuck in my brain for some reason. It always just is so much more visually appealing to me this way. If you're wondering what this little hamburger is, that is actually a whip. So that's the hamburger top to my little mushroom dress up pattern. I just have to finish making like the last few bottom rows of it, but I put it back on the shelf here so that it had like a place to live for right now. And then right here, we do have 1 little gap. So this yarn is actually Naughty Pony yarn, which I do believe is now discontinued, unfortunately. So once I finish with this yarn, I might get like another shade of Parfait Chunky. I'll definitely have to like check out the different shades that they have now, especially some of those newer ones. I'll have to see if they got one like this. I do really like this kind of like terracotta color, so I'll have to check it out and see if they got that. I do know that they had another shade of brown available now, so I'll have to see how that compares with Teddy Bear. But anyway, that completes our little yarn haul. Hopefully I won't have to place another order for a little while here, but also I've said this before, so you guys probably know Parfait Chunky is the yarn that I always design all of my patterns in from the very start, and we have a lot of pattern designing ahead of us, so I'll probably be placing my next order not too far off from now. Alrighty, that was enough of a break for now. For the rest of the day, I'm going to focus on making the little outfits for my Little Pup Dress Up pattern. I'm focusing on those 4 today, so the hot dog, the subwoofer, the pepperoni pizza, and the corn dog, and hopefully when I check back in with you guys, I will have all of those outfits finished. Okay, so I didn't get to finish designing all of the patterns. However, my pattern designing kind of took a little bit of a turn, and I did end up designing a costume that I didn't originally intend to design. So first, let me show you guys the one that started it all, of course, and that is the hot dog pup pattern. I love it so much, you guys. There are a few little changes that I'm going to make. So this right here is the prototype. I'm going to make the bun just a little bit smaller this way so that I can add another row, hopefully right here. But I'm super excited because this costume is actually completely no-sew, which is super cool. So the ketchup and the mustard detailing there, here, let me give you guys a closer look. I just surface crocheted that on the top there. And the construction of this, I'm like freaking out. It's so cool. So the straps come off of the little legs like that. And then the whole thing just comes off of it just like that. And you got your little pup. So it's very reminiscent of like all of the other dress up patterns, which is super cool. So after I designed this, I was like, wait a second, I got an idea. The hot dog pup got me thinking about some of my past patterns. So I started thinking about the taco cat pattern and kind of how the hot dog could be very easily transformed a little bit into a taco. And you guys, here's the little taco pup. How cute is that? And again, completely no-sew. I was actually really surprised that I was able to make this no-sew. The lettuce and the tomato are all crocheted directly in. I mean, okay, I should say you do have to embroider the little like speckles of cheese in there, but other than that, completely no-sew, and it really does look like a little taco. I'm kind of wondering after I finish the little pup dress up pattern if I should then do a cat one so that we can then have a dress up taco cat. I feel like that would be kind of fun. So yeah, you guys, the pattern writing for the Little Pup Dress Up bundle pack is officially underway, but I actually have to call the video here because I have to go head off to help some family members move this weekend. So I'm gonna call the video here, but we will pick right back up in next week's video as we finish designing the other costumes for the Little Pup Dress Up pattern. I do definitely want to still do the subwoofer, obviously, and the pepperoni pizza. I'm not sure about the corn dog. Hopefully we can make the corn dog work. So ideally there would be 5 different costumes in this pattern, at the very least 4. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and for coming along as we did a little pattern designing and of course as we did our big yarn haul. As always, if you're crocheting while watching this video, let all of us know what you're making in the comments, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in next week's video. Bye!